All right, let's get mobile. So as I mentioned, today is going to look a little bit different as we add this contract / tension and release. Okay, sometimes I'll use contraction, sometimes I'll use the words tension, same thing that we're referring to. But there's always going to be a rest or a release or a relax, something with an R. All right, let's get it. So as we pull our pants up and get ready, we're going to start in an anatomical position, okay? So feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart, and our hands are going to be down at our sides, okay, away from our body. So facing our body for this. So if you ever see those skeletons or models of skeletons and bones and muscles, they're probably usually in this position right here, okay? It's the best view. So we're going to do a stretch and movement using tension, okay? So to create tension for this movement, I want you to think about pulling your fingertips all the way down to the ground so that your shoulders come all the way down. Your head is going to stay in a neutral position. So as you create this tension, we're just going to move our hands forward in front of us, in front of our thighs, keeping that tension, pulling down, and then coming all the way back, okay? So thinking about that tension there. We're also going to focus coming all the way back to where our hands are facing our hamstrings. So our hands are just making a circular motion around our body, half circles, all right? So now, when we come to the back, I want you also to think about squeezing your upper back muscles and squeezing as you pull your fingers down and you squeeze into that upper back. And then we're going to slowly come forward and squeeze your chest muscles to bring those hands all the way back. So as we come forward, squeezing the chest, now we're coming back. So we're squeezing our back muscles, focusing on the intention of using the muscles that it takes and tensioning them so that we can help our body understand when we do this movement, these are the muscles I want you to engage, to use it, okay? So we're just resetting our brain, working through our nervous system, helping it along. Practice makes perfect, right? Or maybe near perfect. Who needs perfect? All right, a couple more times. It's a lot of focus in these ones today. Creating that tension, reaching those fingertips down, squeezing through the upper back, and bringing forward, squeezing through the chest. Awesome, lovely. Okay, let's grab those towels. All right, so for my towel, I have my towel wrapped up. I'm just using like an exercise towel for this one. I'm gonna take a step back, keep myself in screen. Okay, so for this towel, we're just gonna use this by creating tension by pulling it apart, okay? You can also do this with those elasticized bands also, but I like the towel because it doesn't move, all right? For this one specifically. All right, so palms down, holding onto the towel. You're going to take your right hand, keeping your left hand low, both pulling in opposite directions, and bring that towel over to the side. Then we're going to bring it a little bit further back of our head, making a full circle, keeping that tension, staying within your limits. Should be no pain in the shoulders. Pulling over to the right. Both sides are keeping tension. That towel should be tense the whole time, okay? We are rotating through the torso in this one. So now we're coming back in the other direction as we come all the way around, keeping that tension all the way around and through. Okay, let's do one more either side. Reaching all the way through, surround, and all the way down. Awesome. Okay, we're also going to come back and forth. So keeping that tension in your towel, we're going to bring that towel all the way up as far back as we can go, and then bring it forward. release. Okay, bring it back, reach through, and bring it down. So things that I'm looking for, you're still engaging your core. If you don't engage your core, when you come back here, everything comes out, right? Your whole hips comes forward, everything comes forward. So you're going to be stabilized in the feet, reaching just through the shoulders. And bring it back. Let's do one more, reaching it all the way up. And reach it down. Awesome. Okay. Continuing with our towel stretch, let's go behind our back. Okay. So behind our back, we're going to do a similar thing. So we're going to reach our hands as we pull apart that towel apart. Try not to let your head fall forward too much, like mine was falling, to get another nice stretch. And then we're going to bring it back. So we're lifting, creating tension through the lift, and we're pulling the towel apart. You can also think about squeezing your upper back in this one. As you reach, squeeze your upper back in between your shoulder blades and bring it down. And let's do one more here. Reach all the way through. Pull, 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 and release. Oh, feels good. All right, let's try those circles one more time, see if they feel a little bit different now that we did a deeper stretch. So I'm going to go to one side, doesn't matter which side, all the way up, around, and through. Oh, that's a little bit easier. What? Look at that, warming up. Muscles actually works. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Feels good on both sides. All right, let's get to the next one. Taking a break from our towel. Let's go into a wide leg stance. Okay. So I'm going to come into a nice wide leg. We're going to pull our pants up as usual. These pants today, boy. And we're going to go into creating tension in our inside thighs, okay, while we go through movement. So we're going to squeeze. So I want you to press down into the floor with your feet and squeeze your legs together, okay? Notice we're not actually moving. I just want that squeeze. That's the tension that we're going to be creating as we move through this movement, okay? I'm going to turn sideways now so you can see the movement. So now we're in that same position. Okay, we're squeezing everything together. Feet are pushing down into the ground. We're going to come into a nice bent over stretch. Take a breath here, keeping that tension, and we're going to walk our hands just a little bit forward, keeping that tension, and then we're going to walk all the way back, keeping that tension. Okay, squeezing those inside thighs. Walking forward. Feel free to close your eyes, especially when you're thinking about which area you want to create connection with. And let's go one more time. Walk forward. And come back. And slowly roll out. Awesome. Okay. Let's come on to our knees. Okay. So I'm coming sideways for this one again. So we're coming into a high knee position. Okay. This is low kneel. This is high knee. Hips up. Okay. We're going to have our toes nicely tucked. Okay. Hands on hips. We're going to just do a little lean back to stretch the front of our quads. Okay. Similarly to what we just did, one of the things I want you to think about is squeezing your inside thighs together, okay? Same thing in that same direction. So let's engage. So squeeze those thighs together, and then you're going to lean just a little bit back to create a nice stretch, pushing your hips forward. and then slowly releasing it down. Up. Okay. Same thing again. Squeeze thighs together. Push hips forward. Engage. Squeeze your glutes. And lean. So now that we know what we're doing, we can lean back a little bit further, creating more of an angle. And coming all the way back. Okay? This is not a long hold in this stretch. And release. So it's a stretch and activation, and it's a mobilizer. Okay? So we're stretching out the muscle, our quad stretch, and as we come up, we're coming up as it's in a lengthened position. So we're training it that, hey, even in this elongated position, I still need you to do your job. One more? Let's do one more. Let's hold this, get that angle, squeeze those inside thighs, squeeze those glutes, push those hips, and release up. Woo, beautiful. Love it. Awesome. Okay, let's come onto our back for the last of our mobility, and then we go into the stretching / activation section. I think it's all stretch and activation, but I tried to split up a little bit. I tried to keep this one a little bit more mobile. All right, we're gonna come on to our back, okay? Toes up, hands, palms down, okay? We're gonna come into a reverse scorpion. So you remember in the scorpion, you're you're on your stomach and you're trying to get your heel to your toe. This heel to your toe, heel to your elbow. That doesn't make sense. Heel to your toe, good luck. All right, I'm sure there's someone out there that can do that. All right, from here, we're gonna take our top leg, right? So I'm going to get my leg closest to you, which is my right leg, and I'm going to take it across my body, keeping the rest of my body where it is, and try to touch my toe to my hand at the other side. Okay, I'm going to do it on this side. Feel free to be doing this with me as we talk it through. Coming through, left leg now, coming to right side, reaching across. Okay, the goal for this one, I want to try to keep my shoulders down a little bit because I want to get that full torso twist as I reach through. As we come back, try to keep nice and low, all right? And I reset every single time. I feel like I'm sliding. These pants, boy, not the best choice. They're cute though. Cross and bring it back down. Okay, let's do 2 more on each side. Bringing it across. And down. Devon, where is the tension and contraction in this one? Well, it kind of is in your core, but I also wanted to put one in here that's just a nice mobility move. A little tradish, you know? One more, left to right hand. And bring it back. Awesome. That's our mobility. Let's get ready to get stretched and activated, right? Well, let's get ready to connect. Let's go. Alrighty, let's get stretched. Okay, so let's start in a cross-legged position, okay? We're gonna do it without the contraction to start with, and then we'll bring the contraction in after, okay? So from the side view, I'm gonna show you the reach forward. So I want you to think about reaching through the middle of your chest down towards the ground. So if you're coming forward, this is where your stretch would be, okay? Okay, that's your stretch right there, right? And you're gonna try it with your other leg crossed, switching. You're just gonna come into a nice lean forward, nice little stretch. I do feel a nice stretch. you're going to feel a stretch in this. It's great, okay? But let's take it to the next level, okay? I really like this one. All right, facing forward, now that you have the lean, I'm gonna go back to my natural way that I tend to cross my legs. I was like, I've never noticed what it was, but I just always do the same one all the time. All right, so you're gonna take your hands underneath your knees, okay? And you're gonna hold on to them, okay? So we're gonna do a push and pull. So as your hands are trying to pull your knees up, your knees are not gonna let them. So your knees are gonna hold their stance. You shall now pass. Lord of the Rings, I know, I'm a nerd. So your knees are being stubborn and they're not moving, okay? Your hands are pulling and trying to pull them out of position. We're not gonna let that happen, right? Okay, so as we do that, we're gonna take an inhale, and on the exhale, we contract and lean forward. As we keep going, inhale and exhale, not losing the contraction, keep that contraction. So pushing and pulling, knees against hands. And slowly rise up. Woo! Felt a little deeper, right? So that's why I like showing you what it felt like before, so that you can see what the difference was, right? Let's do the other side. We have switched our feet, sitting nice and tall. We're going to take our hands underneath those knees and we're going to sit up, take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, we start the contraction. Knees pressing into hands, hands pressing into knees, and we're going to come forward. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Back all the way up to sit. Awesome. That's our cross-legged with tension and release. All right, let's go into our next stretch. We're going into a thread the needle, okay? So we're gonna come onto our hands and knees in that tabletop position. We're gonna have our knees right underneath our hips. Our hands are gonna move, so don't worry about them being under your shoulders at first, okay? So then we're gonna take our right hand all the way up, and then we're going to take our left hand and thread it all the way through. Okay, so then our head is on the ground. Then we can adjust our right hand farther up over our heads so that we can press that right into the ground, okay? So our contraction comes from one, pressing our right hand into the ground, and two, shifting our left hip towards the opposite side, okay? So on the inhale and exhale, we're going to contract and create tension. So pressing the right hand down into the ground and shifting that left hip to the left. Inhale here and exhale. It is very tight in there. One more time, deep inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Come out, bring that right hand down, press yourself back up. Beautiful. Let's do the same on the opposing side. So here, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my left hand forward this time. Knees are still underneath your hips. And I'm going to thread with my right arm this time. Okay? Straight through and across. Adjusting my left hand up above my head so that it is be able to create tension. So on the inhale here, and on the exhale, I'm going to shift my right hip, squeezing over towards the right, and press that left hand down into the ground. So creating a nice spiral line stretch all throughout the body. Deep inhale and exhale. One more deep inhale and exhale. Awesome. Bringing your left hand down, pressing yourself back up, and we're ready for the next stretch. All right, we're gonna come into a chest stretch, okay? I'm gonna move my mat back a little bit so I got support on my knees. So I actually like to support my knees more than my head on this one. All right, so we're back in that tabletop position. Same thing, that your knees are underneath your hips, and we're gonna reach our hands nice and wide, okay? Fingertips out towards the side, okay? Facing out. From here, I want you to bring them a little bit closer underneath you than you think they should be. So you almost feel like you're gonna fall forward, okay? So in that side view, it looks like this, okay? So hands are a little bit lower than my shoulders here, okay? Trust me, it's gonna pay off, okay? Feels weird to start, we don't stay here very long, all right? So from here, I'm gonna come into a single push-up, okay? So I'm going to take my left shoulder and I'm going to adjust to give more space because I need a little bit more, all the way down towards the ground. And I'm going to press into my left hand and then pull. It's like I want to pull the ground with me. So I want to shift my right hip to the right as I continue to press my left shoulder down towards the ground. My right arm is just supporting, and we just breathe. Awesome. And release. Lovely, huh? Let's do the other side. Same thing. I can go a little bit lower on my hand here. I can come higher on my left. My left one doesn't matter in this one. That's just the support. I'm gonna bring my right one wider as I come down towards the ground, twisting away. So my head is facing the opposite direction of the arm that I'm stretching. So we're stretching into your chest, into your anterior deltoid, the front of your shoulder, and taking a breath here. And on the exhale, shift your weight to the left as you press your right shoulder down towards the ground. Creating that tension to increase the stretch. Deep inhale here and exhale. One more deep inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Coming all the way up. Feeling good? All right, let's keep going. All right, so I'm here up against the wall. We're gonna need a wall for this one, okay? So I pulled my mat nice and close. I'm gonna end up putting my feet on the wall. So you're gonna make your hands like this. Palms are gonna be down towards the ground like this, okay? And they're gonna be around your sacrum, okay? So your sacrum is just at the base of your spine, around right here. So if you have any fancy pants, that's where the emblem usually sits, the logo. Right on your sacrum, right? Okay, so we're gonna come. So we went about almost like a 90-degree angle away from the wall so that your feet are nice and comfy. Back is nice and flat against the ground. Now we're gonna make our triangle, right? Or diamond. Is it a triangle? More of a diamond, okay? Nice little diamond around our sacrum, okay? Sitting on our sit bones, nice and comfy. That actually feels really nice. I like it here, right? Okay, for this simple but effective stretch, release a little bit of your back tension also. So we're going to think about not just pushing with tension, pushing our heels into the ground. So we're going into the ground, that's the wall, pushing it into the wall. We're going to think about pushing down and up, okay? So you're pushing up at an angle. So when you do that, you're not going to even notice the difference. So this is pushing forward, and then this is pushing up, okay? So my toes tend to come up when I do this because I'm so focused on it. But pushing that up, it's going to feel like your hands are getting more pressure from your sit bones, okay? And it should be a unified pressure all the way through your hands, okay? And release. Let's do another one. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to press. Take an inhale. On the exhale, press. Inhale. And on the exhale, press. Lovely. Nice little subtle little release of some lower back tension. Don't have to do too many of them. Probably one of the nicer, lazier stretches that we do. All right, one more in the stretch section, and then we get serious in the activation section. All right, ready? Let's go. All right, let's get into one last tension and release stretch, okay? So I'm still near a wall because I'm going to show you a little bit of a modification if you're worried about falling at all. So I'm staying near the wall for this. But we're going to start with our hands behind our head, okay? So I like them intertwined, and you're just going to have a nice flat hands against the back of your head. Elbows nice and wide to start, okay? So we're going to do that good morning, right? And then we're going to add some tension to it to get a nice stretch in our neck and upper back. As you can bring your feet a little bit forward of the wall and lean into the wall. So if you're having any kind of back tension, this will take most of your back tension away when you're leaning into the wall and you're taking the pressure of standing up into it. So coming into that good morning, okay? So we're coming into that good morning, squeezing our glutes. All in here is nicely squeezed and to hold us in this position. From here, we're going to let our chin come into our chest, okay? Bending our head forward. We're still keeping our hands on the back of our head. We're not creating any tension yet. We're just letting it bend, okay? From here, we're going to keep this position nice and flat back, and then we're just going to lift our head just slightly into our hands, and our hands are not going to let it move. So we're creating tension in our neck all the way down our upper back. And slowly release, okay? If we would like a little bit more, I want you to think about squeezing your hands together into your head at the same time as you're doing that, and then we're going to get more into the shoulders and the chest, okay? So coming back down into our good morning position, we're here, we're going to let our chin tuck down into our chest, and this time we're going to squeeze into our head as we try to lift it up. And slowly release. This time staying down, and let's bring that one up one more time. Take a deep inhale and exhale, press up. And slowly release. And come up. Okay? If that feels like a lot, the reason why I add the wall there, so that's that option for you. You can lean into the wall. You'll still get the full benefit of the neck stretch. All right? Let's get activated. All right, coming into our activation, okay? We're going to be doing some standing balance stuff. More balance, Devon? Yes, more balance. Why? Because what are you actually doing on that stabilizing leg? Activating, contracting, tension, all of those things, right? So I have a little balance apparatus so I could be sideways for you. You can also use your wall to help assist you, but the ultimate is to try to balance without holding on to anything, right? Right, okay? I was like, because I also have to look towards you too, Sometimes it throws off my balance even more. So I always have this here for safety also, right? Okay, so coming into our first exercise, we're going to come into a leg extension in a balanced position, okay? So we're going to stabilize on our left. My right is the one closest to you. My left is closest to the wall or my balance apparatus if I'm using it. And you're just going to bring your leg to 90 degrees here, okay? From here, I want you to think about what we're working. Right now, we're working your quad. So as we extend from here, I want you to try to squeeze all the way. Then you're going to point, flex, point, flex. Point, squeezing, point, flex. Slowly come in and slowly release. Anybody else shaking? No? Nobody else is shaking? Okay. Let's do that one more time. So we're going to come all the way up into that flexed position. Hip and knee are bent. And now we're going to extend from the knee. Hip stays the same. And we're going to flex, point, flex, contracting that quad, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, and slowly release. Woo-wee! Right? Okay. While we're here, we're going to also do our side lift, okay? So we're staying on the same leg this whole time, right? We really want to get that tension in that balancing leg. So from here, we're going to go into a full lift. So I'm actually going to use the wall for this one, right? So I can face this way. So from here, you're going to lift directly to the side. I like to keep my toe flexed for this one. And I want you to make sure that you're not leaning at the hips. We got to stabilize through the torso on the opposite side. So this will give me 8 lifts here. Ready? We're counting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Awesome, right? Did I have to add any extra contraction in that? No, because you're contracting your booty in order to lift, okay? That's where the natural contraction comes in. All right, next up, you can face the wall if you need to for this, or you can come into the side view. So we're gonna take that leg back behind us, okay, at an angle. So notice how far back my foot is, and I want my knee to be further back than my hip. I'm gonna keep my knee, hip, and knee in the same position, and all we're going to do is with a pointed toe, I like the point on this one, we're going to squeeze into our hamstring, okay? Squeeze at the knee and bring it up, keeping that chest nice and high. Squeeze. Give me 3 more here. 3, 2, squeeze, 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 squeeze. 2, give me an extra one. And 1. I had to get the extra. Come on. Come on. Awesome. Let's go to the other side. Okay? So on the other side, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to start with those quads, right? With that leg extension. So balancing now on our right leg, we're going to bring our left knee all the way up, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, and we're going to extend out. From here, we're going to point, flex, point. Right here is where we're working. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. One more, point, flex. Bring it down and release. We're going to do another set of that. Okay? I know. It's a lot. Such little movements can create so much tension, right? All right, let's do a second round. Knee up and extend all the way out and point. Flex, point. Tense through that quad. Everyone, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, and release. I was getting a little bit of a Charlie horse. Muscle spasm, muscle spasm. Ah, that means we're working good, right? Right? Right. All right, let's go into that side lift. So we're gonna have that flex foot this time. I'm gonna try to do this as balanced as I can. We're gonna do 8 lifts out to the side. And try to keep it out to the side. Keep your toes facing forward. So a lot of people, I see a lot of turning this way, turning toes up. Keep your toes flat or turn down towards the bottom even. Okay? We're ready? Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. It was like my voice was shaking because my leg was shaking. All right, let's get into these hammies. So reaching that foot all the way back, all right? So that knee is further back, be further back than your hip, further back than your knee. And from here, we're going to just bend at the knee, toe is pointed, and we're going to squeeze that hamstring. Squeeze. 3 here. Beautiful. Standing nice and tall. Try to balance if you can. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Good job. Beautiful. All right. Let's lean up against the wall. Okay? Back to the wall. Feet are going to be a little bit further in front of you so that your back is nice and flat. Okay? From here, you can put your hands against the wall or at your side, wherever is most comfortable for you. We're going to do some toe raises, okay? So we're bringing our toes up towards us by contracting our shins, okay? So up and release. Up and release. Up and down. Nice hold, squeeze it. Hold it for a second before you release it. Beautiful. Give me 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Lovely. Feel good? Give me a tiny bit of a release here. You're just going to come onto the top of your foot and just lean forward, okay? Just the top of your toes is down towards the ground. Okay, and switch sides. Top of your toes is down towards the ground. Just an opposing stretch, and you made it. All right? So hopefully your kinetic and muscular connections are like intertwined right now. So like when you go to do a lunge right now, now your muscles and your brain are in connection, so then you can get into that a little bit easier, a little bit more comfortably, right? Then that's how you increase your speed, increase your strength, increase your endurance. Awesome. All right. I will see you on the next one. All right. Have a good one.